I've been hunting it so long now. Sometimes I think maybe never find it.
Well, there can be a number of challenges there. It goes from not having enough money for support in various departments that you need to um, help you move along. First off, create things for you and move along. Um, People are doing 10 jobs, which is very difficult to do, whether you're beginning or you're experienced at it. It affects everything that's in front of the camera. Um, you might not make decisions based on clarity because again you're doing 10 jobs. Larger studio productions can have 200 people, and at that point you buy time. Money buys time in any profession that you're in, and on major studio productions you buy time, you buy crew, you're able to offer talent a lot of money. um, Again, you buy time. Some of those productions are shot over months. Micro budget, lower budget movies, you have just enough money to maybe spend a week or two or three at the most in creating your project. And that's with a crew of 10 or 20. So it's a difficult thing in that sense. At the same time, smaller crews work harder in a lot of different ways, and it makes you more creative. It's that old, I don't have the money to do this, so how am I going to do it? And that's very true with this. It's you find yourself doing things that you didn't think you could accomplish, but you do it, and you have fun. And I know you're tired, but a lot of us had fun doing this. And even at my age, after doing all this, I'm having a blast. Well, Jason Horton is a terrific storyteller, so I know this is going to be fun from that standpoint. Um, good gore, good action, nice story twists and plots. So I read the script, so I know it's going to have all of that, and um, I'm looking forward to. Oh, he mentioned something about de-aging process. That I don't know if I'm looking forward to because basically they're going to de-age me. So I'm going to go from looking like this to somebody 20, 30 years younger. Um, Psychologically and emotionally, I don't know how I'm going to handle that. You know, when you see yourself from 30 or 40 years ago in photos and videos, you know that's what you look like. But now, you know, at my age, I'm like, whoa, that's what I would look like 20 years ago. Um, I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to take that. So the final product, um, we'll see. Personally, it was fun. So um, lots of scares, um, real thrilling element to it, like really what's going on. Good movie. I think Jason's going to put together really something good here. I've known Jason Horton, the director, the writer, director, producer, for many years now. I met him. When was this? It was right after Hurricane. Well, I was in to do a horror movie in New Orleans, 2006, I think. And unfortunately, we didn't do it because Hurricane Katrina came through. That was fun. And Jason I had met right before that all happened, so we traded numbers and said, "Hey, when you're in Los Angeles, please come by and visit." So he did when he moved to LA, and we kept in touch. He wanted to work on production. I didn't work on any of his things. I did read his scripts, which I think are terrific, but I didn't get an opportunity to work with him as a producer director until he brought me a script called Monsters in the Woods. Um, Monsters in the Woods was a real interesting experience. It was micro budget, and we were also making it was a creature feature. So Robert Bravo and a few others produced this with me and put together a very good little team. again, micro budget. And we didn't have a lot to make monster suits with. It's kind of like the way movies were made back in the 60s and 70s. There's no on-camera effects. So we had to make sure, Jason had to make sure that when he shot this, it was shot from a perspective of the monsters look real, which is a very difficult thing to do when considering the millions of dollars they spend on effects these days. So it was a terrific experience. You can catch it on Tubi and a few other places if you want to see what it is, but Jason and I go way back, and I'm glad it gave me an opportunity to work with him in front of the camera, which he never, he knew that I've acted in the past, but he didn't know really what my capabilities were. I didn't have anything over him. He really just gave me an opportunity to give this a shot. I started as a young actor in '77 and did independent movies and commercials until about the mid '80s. And then I got a gig as a production assistant on The Breakfast Club, working in post-production. So that was a great experience. And from then on, I was pursuing more production work versus the acting. Not that the acting wasn't fun or I wasn't making money, but I also had just written a script called Joysticks. So things were happening in other elements of my life that I started focusing on. And as much as I loved acting, these other roads were opening up, and I decided to do more of that. And I talked to Jason and say, "Hey, what are you doing next?" And he goes, I'm making this movie called Craving." I say, "Hey, can I read the script?" Because I love his horror stuff. And it's a terrific script. They did a great job with it. He explained how he wanted to approach it. And I said, "Hey, what are you doing? Who are you hiring for Hunter?" Well, he actually had hired someone else for the role. That fell through. So I talked to him about it later, and he goes, "Why don't you do it?" And I said, "Sure." And to be honest with you, I didn't remember the size of the role. I thought it was a few lines here and there, and I came in and out. And when I said, "Sure," I'm committed to it now. So I went back into the script, not realizing that Hunter is one of the leads in the movie, which really I didn't tell him this, but it really freaked me out because all of my roles in the past have been very small roles, and featured roles. And I said, "Should I call Jason and say, I just can't do this. It's too much. I don't know if I'm ready to take on that size of a role." But I bucked it up and said, let me give it a shot. And it's challenging because, again, it's been 30 years. So they say, "Oh, it's like getting back on a bike." No. It's not like getting back on a bike. There's wheels emotionally that haven't turned in that sense, memorization, character development, all these things that you focus on as an actor. When you do it all the time, it becomes a habit like anything else. And in this sense, I had to not only develop the habit again, but do the work, as they say, do the work. So it was difficult. Some days I cried. But Jason believed in me, and he's so easy to work with as a director, and he works hard as a director. He just really focuses on things, and he communicates. Doesn't yell at you, doesn't act for you either. He lets you bring something out, gives little notes. Good director. That's what good directors should do. So it was a trip. It was trippy. And at the end of it all, you question yourself, did I really do what I thought I could do? And at the end of it, he came up to me and he said, "You did a terrific job. I knew you could perform, but, you knocked it out of the park." I said, "Thanks. That's really all we can do. And I hope we can do it again."